Did we just see anything we just saw? Wow!
This is your 10-minute sports report. I am your host, Captain Boyne. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Don't forget to go follow us on Instagram, 4th and 1, all spelled out podcast. Add the word podcast at the end. 4th and 1 podcast. Go follow us on Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube and share with all your family and friends. I will say this. Today has never felt more like a Monday. Hashtag Grr Mondays, as Ted says. Seth MacFarlane's character from the movie Ted, the teddy bear. So comment down below. What is your least favorite thing about Mondays? Let's just, keep it chill, keep it real, keep it chill. Great weekend, though. It was a great weekend of sports. I got a lot to go over. I got some eyebrow-raising news about Michigan's new head coach. I got the NFL Conference Championship playoff results. I got some NBA news, some NBA scores, NHL scores. So I got a little bit of everything. 10-minute sports report probably coming to you at least twice this week, maybe 3 times. No brand new episode of the 4th One podcast this week or last week. Again, taking a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break. We worked hard this past, so we'll get back on it. Don't you worry. But I'm just kind of feeling it out. I know when it's time to take a break, and I know when it's time to jump back into it, and we'll get back into it. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, first and foremost, Jim Harbaugh says the only person I would want to leave the job would want to do the job. Harbaugh wrote in a text message Saturday to AD Ward Manuel when Ward Manuel asked Jim Harbaugh his opinion of hiring Sherrone Moore. I have 100% conviction that he will make us all very proud. So Sherrone Moore is the new head coach of the University of Michigan. He is on a 5-year deal. Michigan fans are ecstatic. He went 4-0 as the acting head coach while Jim Harbaugh was out for 6 games. He got 1 game by himself in the first 3 games, and then he got 2 games, or the final 3 games of the season, Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. And 2 of those games were on the road, Penn State, Maryland, and his teams fared very well. So I think all Michigan fans are like, okay, we're keeping it in the building. Now, Michigan does lose defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. He went with Harbaugh. Strength and conditioning coach, which is a big deal for me, also went with Harbaugh. The assistant strength and conditioning coach, Trez, is taking over for Ben Herbert. So that's good. At least we're keeping it in-house there. Defensive coordinator is still up in the air, but it's probably going to be the secondary coach, a mix of the secondary, who was the co-defensive coordinator, and the defensive line coach, Mike Elston. Clinks, as they call him, is the secondary coach, and Elston, is the defensive line coach. So it sounds like we're all going to keep it in-house for this next year at least, and then go from there. Here's what I kind of find interesting. Michigan gave him a 5-year contract with a base salary of $500,000 a year and $5 million in additional compensation in year 1. His salary and additional compensation will each increase by 2% in the subsequent years, and Moore will receive $500,000 per contract year if he remains the coach for the entirety of the year. So Michigan is basically saying, he gets $500,000, which is, he probably made more as the offensive coordinator. But then he's able to make $5 million in bonuses and incentives if he meets certain goal. $500,000 for winning a conference championship, $1 million for winning a national championship. His buyout starts at $5 million and decreases by $1 million each year, down to $1 million in the final year of his contract. This contract basically says, we don't know if you're the right guy for the job, but Harbaugh and the players like you, and right now we just won the national title, so we might as well just give you a shot. So that's what that means. So I'm a little concerned that the administration at Michigan does not view Sharon Moore in the same way that Michigan fans do, but it is what it is. So I hope that he gets all $5.5 million per year, but Michigan's saving a lot of money. And if he knocks it out of the park, if he knocks it out of the park and makes the playoff, in 4 of the 5 years or whatever, wins a natty in there, wins a couple Big Ten titles, he's going to renegotiate and they're going to pay him top dollar. He is going to be paid. He's young. He's 37. Or if he falls flat on his face, no harm, no foul. Michigan tried something. Michigan fans aren't really angry because we just won a national title in 2023 and we move on. But I don't think he's going to fall flat on his face. I think he's going to do a bang-up job. He's got to rebuild. He's got a tough job, but hey, that's what he signed up for. He's a Michigan man. He's been here 7 years now with us. He helped build this thing. He was with us through the ups and downs. So, yeah, let's go Sharon. There we go. All right, turning over to the NFL, we had the AFC Conference Championship game and the NFC Conference Championship game yesterday. And yesterday in Baltimore, the number 1 seeded Ravens go down to Patty Mahomes and Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce. The Chiefs take down the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. Kansas City scored all 17 points in the first half. They went into halftime up 17-7. Baltimore only got a field goal. Baltimore was in the red zone twice and had 2 turnovers in the second half. One, Zay Flowers diving for the pylon, got the ball knocked out, and it was recovered in the end zone by the Kansas City Chiefs. The other time, Lamar Jackson threw into triple coverage and got intercepted. Here is something that I would like everyone to know. The number one of the top offenses in the league, the Baltimore Ravens, were the league leader in rushing attempts and the league leader in rush yards per game. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday they ran the ball 16 times, 8 of which to their running backs, 8 of which were Lamar Jackson runs, for a total of 81 yards. They averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Their main back, Gus Edwards, had 3 carries, 20 yards, 6.7 yards a rush. If you're the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL in the regular season and in the playoffs, that's what they did to the Houston Texans last week. Ran. You run the ball 16 times, 81 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs ran the ball 32 times, 89 yards, 2.8 yards a carry. But at least they tried. The Ravens' defense is very good. The Chiefs' defense is very good. The Ravens didn't even try. They dropped back with Lamar Jackson 37 times, and Lamar Jackson was Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Uncomfortable and inaccurate down the football field. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes dropped back 39 times, completed 30 passes for 241 and a touchdown, only sacked twice, QBR 91, because Patrick Mahomes is comfortable dropping back 39 times. Lamar Jackson is not. And yet, the play calling by the Baltimore Ravens, pitiful. How on earth do you even call a game like that? Now, let's flip over. Maybe, are the sound bites broken? I think so. Hello? I think the sound bites are broken. Okay. All right, well, that's all right. So, but we'll flip over to the NFC Championship game that took place right after. The Detroit Lions were taking down the number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers from the beginning. They were up 24-7 at halftime. They were literally running away with this thing. Their rushing their rush offense last night, 29 carries, 182 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery had 93 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 45 yards. Jamison Williams had one long 42-yard rush for a touchdown. It was going all the Lions' way, and then Dan Campbell got in the way. I posted a meme today on my Facebook, and it said, Dan Campbell's the type of guy that when he has 20 in blackjack, he says, hit me, because that's what he did. They are up 24-10. First drive, second half. They are on San Francisco's 20-yard line. It would be a 37-yard field goal. 4th and 2. Now, he's gone for it all year. He's a very aggressive play caller. It's benefited him. They were 12-5 this year. Benefited him in a great way, but in the playoffs, it bit him in the butt. He was up 14. Doesn't kick the field goal, turnover on downs. San Francisco goes down and scores a touchdown. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. It is now 17-24. You're still good. Get back to running the football. Oh, well, don't you know Jahmyr Gibbs fumbles, tie game. San Francisco takes the ball, tie game. Now, San Francisco goes down and, Detroit goes down, gets a field goal. Okay. So they are up. San Francisco does go down, gets a field goal. 27-24. You drive down the field again, and you're on the 30-yard line this time, 4th and 3. You kick the field goal to tie the game. You're in the playoffs. This is not some meaningless Week 11 game. Nope. Go for it. Doesn't get it. San Francisco drives down. Now you're down 10. They score a touchdown. You're down 10. You go down and score a touchdown, so now you're down 3, but you never get the ball back. Well, if you kick 2 very makeable field goals inside 50 yards, nothing's wrong with their kicker. They're just an aggressive team, and I get that. You live by the sword, die by the sword. Go for it. But guess what? You die, and then you take all the heat. Or if you would have kicked the 2 field goals, you win this football game 37-34. Decisions will haunt you forever. That was probably the Lions' best shot. We'll see if they can run it back next year. And, well, the sound bites say that they're working, but nothing's playing in my ear. So that's very interesting. Oh, wait, are we playing now? Are we going? There we go. We did it. I fixed it. So, the Super Bowl matchup will be in 2 weeks. It will be February the 12th, I believe, between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. It will be a rematch of Super Bowl 50, I want to say 2, 3 years ago, where Kansas City did beat San Francisco 10-point lead, 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mahomes all the way back to beat. By the way, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, passed Jerry Rice for most playoff receptions all time. First ballot Hall of Famer right there. All right. They updated their new soundboard. The soundboard that we're having issues communicating with our server. Okay, so we're probably not getting this. 76ers star Joel Embiid will miss Monday night's game in Portland with a knee injury, the team announced. It's the second straight game Joel Embiid missed. He was a late scratch from Saturday's showdown with two-time MVP Nikola Jokic in Denver. According to multiple sources, has prompted the league to investigate the circumstances of the team's injury reporting, which is another thing. Here's the deal. The NBA has now said you can only miss so many games to be in contention for all NBA teams, MVP, defensive, like postseason awards. Embiid has missed 12 games on the season. If he misses 5 more games, he would become ineligible for any postseason awards. And a lot of contract stuff is based, like all pros, MVPs, defensive player of the year, is all based on like incentives are based on awards. So that's very big for his paycheck. Here's the deal, and he's the MVP right now. He's averaging like 37 points a game, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 assists. He's the MVP as of right now. So that's very huge there. However, I'm not even going to try the soundbite. Let's back up and see how our NBA friends are doing. A little bit longer of an episode, but that's all right. So on Thursday, last time I did this, Philadelphia traveled to Indiana and lost 134 to 122. Joel Embiid in that game did play, had 31 points in the loss. Denver went to the Knickerbockers in New York and lost as well, 122 to 84. Nikola Jokic had 31 in a loss. On Friday, Cleveland went to Milwaukee and won 112 to 100. That's a big time win for them. Doc Rivers, by the way, took over that. Milwaukee Bucks fired their head coach. They're second in the East, fired their head coach. I cannot believe that. Something's going on in Milwaukee. Good win for Cleveland. On Saturday, Philadelphia went to Denver and lost with all backups in. Nikola Jokic had 26 points. Paul Reed, Embiid's backup, had 30 in the loss. And that's it for that. Sunday, no one that we care about play, and today is Monday. So if we look at the standings, the Boston Celtics are running away with it now. Still 3 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks. They're 7-3 in the last 10. One lost their last time out. Milwaukee Bucks 3 games back, 7-3 in their last 10. Philadelphia 76ers now 5 games back, lost their last 2 times out. 6-4 in their last 10. New York Knicks, 6 games winning streak, 8-2 in their last 10. 6 games back, 1 game back of Philadelphia. Cleveland Cavaliers, 6.5 back, 1.5 games back of Philadelphia, 9-1 in their last 10. So the third seed, between the third seed and the 6th seed is 3.5 games. So very interesting to watch. Out west, the Denver Nuggets are 7-3 in their last 10. They won their last time out. They're a half game back of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are tied at the top. Meanwhile, the LA Clippers keep getting hot. Keep staying hot, I should say. They've won their last 5 games. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they're just 1 game back of first place. So the top 4 teams are all separated by 1 game. And then seed 5 through 10 are separated by 3.5 games. That's the Kings, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Jazz in order. Let's flip over to the NHL. The NHL, a little bit of a soundbite there at the end, but I'm not loving this new upgrade that we did. On Thursday, Anaheim traveled to Dallas and lost in overtime 4-3. On Friday night, Vegas traveled to New York and got a win against the Rangers 5-2. The Los Angeles Kings traveled to Colorado and lost 5-1. St. Louis visited Seattle and came away with a hard-fought overtime win 4-3. On Saturday, that was Friday. On Saturday, the matchup, Anaheim traveled to Minnesota and got a 3-2 victory. I can't believe Vegas traveled to Detroit and lost 5-2. So Vegas is up and down. Sunday, Columbus traveled to Seattle and lost 4-2. If we check on the standings, Colorado is now atop the Western Conference Central. They have 67 points. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10 games with 67 points. They sit 1 point ahead of the Dallas Stars and 2 points ahead of the Winnipeg Jets for the Central lead. The Avalanche and the Stars both are on 3-game winning streaks. Meanwhile, the Jets are on a 3-game losing streak. If we flip over to the Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks are now 7 points ahead of the Golden Knights. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, the Vegas Golden Knights are 2 up and down, 6-3-1, lost their last time out, 64 points. However, that is still 5 points better than the Edmonton Oilers. However, not by much, because the Oilers are hot. They've won their last 16 games. They're 10-0-0 in their last 10 with 59 points. The Kraken fighting clawing 52 points on the season. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. They did lose their win their last time out. Wild card, it would be the Avalanche, Stars, Jets, Canucks, Knights, Oilers, wild card, Kings, Blues, each with 54 points. The Kraken, the Predators, and the Kraken have 53 and 52 points respectively. They're right there, ladies and gentlemen. The best named hockey team is right there fighting for a wild card spot, and you just got to get in. In hockey, you win, you get in, anything can happen. So that'll do it for today's rendition of the 10-Minute Sports Report. I'm done trying with the soundbite. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Until next time, remember, God loves you. I pray God bless you. Wash those hands, you filthy animals. Peace out. We will see you again later this week. Goodbye, everybody.